Hello everyone, Whitebox here with another game of Spirit Island. This is going to be part 2 of my Habsburg Mining Expedition exploration. Today I'm going to be playing against level 1 Habsburg, which is going to be a difficulty 3. So let's take a look at what level 1 adds. So fear cards are unchanged, it's 333. Game effects, so I've got Avarice Rewarded. When Blight added by a Ravage action would cascade, instead, you upgrade one explorer or town before the Dahan counterattack. And then Ceaseless Mining, lands with 3 or more invaders are mining lands. In mining lands, in mining lands, disease and modifiers to disease affect ravage actions as though they were build actions. During the build step, build cards cause ravage actions instead of build actions. Huh, okay. So that's going to take a little while to get used to. That's why I'm running through a Habsburg Mining Expedition like this. So 3 or more invaders. Interesting. So I'm going to put my build marker here on the build step, so I remember that, hopefully. Also remember the escalation still is mining tunnels, so after advancing the invader cards, you explore in 2 lands whose terrains don't match a Ravager build card. So interesting here is that they don't have cascades. That's going to be a little bit different. You still have to worry about their ravages because they're going to upgrade stuff and get more blight in the lands, and then that activates land strip bear. But having the blight concentrated in some lands, in some cases, is good. That's very interesting. I haven't looked at Habsburg yet, so this is all new to me. So that'll be something new to play around with for sure. So I'll have to keep that in mind. So mining lands, lands with 3 or more invaders are mining lands. I think that might be a little bit harder to keep track of than Russia 3, where 3 or more lands are hunting lands. So mining lands, okay. So I guess disease would stop ravage instead of stopping build in those mining actions, because it affects ravage actions as though they were build actions. Okay, interesting. Okay, cool. So for this level 1 Habsburg Mining Expedition, which I'm going to call Salzburg for short. Salzburg means like salt city in German, so that's this is the salt mining expedition, so I think Salzburg is a nice shorthand for Habsburg Mining Expedition. So against Salzburg, level 1, I'm going to be playing Lightning Swift Strike with the new aspect for them, Sparking. So I think the whole idea thematically with sparking is that it's lightning that's causing fires, which lightning does in nature, so that's interesting. So sparking 1 of 1 replaces your innate power Thundering Destruction, and setup is that you replace Raging Storm, one of your uniques, with Smite the Land with Fulmination. Gift of Sparking Sky, so it's a fast innate power, targets any spirit, which will be me in true solo. So once this turn, after target spirit uses a power that targets a land, they may do 1 damage to each invader in that land. That's their action and gets all the benefits and penalties that apply to their powers. Cool. It does take a lot of elements to get there, but that's very nice. Let's see, target spirit gains a minor power, and that's just 2 fire and 2 air, so that's pretty easy to hit. And then target spirit may play a power card by paying its cost. Nice thing about this second level is it's going to keep me from being stuck in a reclaim loop, potentially. Reclaim loop lightning is pretty strong, but it can be a little dull sometimes. I think that the opening is still going to be the same that I normally do with lightning, but yeah, that's a little different. And then target spirit may play a power card by paying its cost, and if you target yourself, its elements arrive too late to apply the prior thresholds of this power. That makes sense. Alright, cool. So I guess that kind of lets you go for top track instead of bottom, since you get to since you get to play extra power cards anyway. We'll see. I don't know. Just gonna put that on my portrait. And then Smite the Land with Fulmination is, actually I'll put it under innate. I wonder why they didn't make it like vertical, so it could actually replace that power normally, but I don't know. It is what it is. And then I've got this power card here of Smite the Land with Fulmination. So it's a slow power, range 2, 1 damage, and add a Badlands, which I think there's a card in the minor power deck that does the exact same thing. But yeah, that's not bad. 2 energy though, a little hard to take. So I'll probably want to get up to 4 card plays like you normally do with lightning and then go into a reclaim loop, but because of sparking you do get more minor powers, so you can break out of that reclaim loop a little bit faster. So let's do the initial explorer. It's going to be jungle. I think that's alright. In mining lands. Okay, cool. Alright, so that's jungle, and then I go into my my spirit phase. So I'm going to go 2 from bottom. Classic lightning build. Don't see any reason to do anything different. I want to be able to hit every land with a sacred site within range 1, which I can do if I go into F2. The problem with going F2 is that taking out a city that early is very difficult, so I don't want to lose a presence necessarily. So I think I'll just go over here to F4, and then that'll be fine. I'll work up to a sacred site somewhere else soon. Okay, so that's that. Then I go into card plays. I'm not playing any cards. Standard lightning opening where you just underplay. I get 1 energy. Then go to the invader phase, flip an event for timing, build in jungles, and then explore over in mountains. Cool, I think that's fine. Alright, no slow powers, so then I go back to growth. So with this, I want to go... Oh, I messed up. Normally lightning, you go top, not bottom. It's been a while since I played them. So assume that I took those 2 presents from top instead of bottom. That gives me 2 energy for this phase. Yeah, don't play lightning much anymore, I guess. Now I go growth 2 again, and this time is when I go bottom. And I'm going to go over here into F1. Now I have a sacred site within 1 range of all of my presents, and or sacred site within 1 range of every land. Yeah, that's the way to do it, because now I get 2 energy, and I can afford 3 card plays. Probably not 4, no, not 4, but that's okay. So I definitely want to do my cheap cards, so that's Lightning's Boon and Harbingers of the Lightning. Or instead of Harbingers of the Lightning, I do have 4 energy, so I could go with Smite the Land with Fulmination and Shatter Homesteads. That would be interesting. And then eventually I'll be able to kill that city with Smite the Land with Fulmination. It'll make me a little energy poor if I do that. Maybe next turn won't be the greatest, but that might be alright. I don't know. It's something different. Let's try it and see how that works. So I will spend all of my energy to do Smite the Land with Fulmination and Shatter Homesteads. Yeah, I can't kill cities with my innate anymore, so I have to do it with Smite the Land with Fulmination, or with major powers, or other things. The counterattacks work as well. Okay, so let's do this. So going straight into fast powers, my innate here, I do have the 2nd and 3rd level. So I gain a minor power. If I get a free card, I can play it this turn. So I have 2 free cards here, but I did get Purifying Flame, which is fantastic elements-wise, and I think that's going to be pretty good against Habsburg as well, being able to remove Blight. Savage Mob Beast is okay. Terror Turns to Madness is always nice. I'm going to go with Purifying Flame, though. It hits my elements, so I think I'll be able to get Gift of the Sparking Sky pretty easily. Yeah, let's do that. And I may play a power card by paying its cost, but I don't have any energy, so I can't do that. But that's fine. Okay, so that's that. Now I go to my other fast powers. So for every 3 air that I have, I'm going to use 1 slow power as if it were fast. I have 3 air, so I could make all my powers fast if I wanted to. So let's go ahead and do Shatter Homesteads. I mean, I could let that Blight and just let the Dahan counterattack. Maybe that's better. Save Shatter Homesteads to the slow phase, so I don't have to worry about them next turn. Yeah, that's probably fine. So I'm going to go ahead and use Harbingers of the Lightning to push 2 of these Dahan in here. I get 1 fear because I pushed Dahan into lands with towns and cities. Towns or cities. And let's go ahead and smite the land with Fulmination. I'm going to do that in F2. So 1 damage and then add a Badlands. So it won't stop the Blight, but I'm not worried about that. I'm setting up for future turns when I'll be able to kill that city. So that's that. I'll save Shatter Homesteads for the slow phase, because I'm not worried about them blighting here. Dahan will still counterattack and kill everything in that land. So that's that. So let's go to the Invader phase. We get an event first. The next Explore card matches all lands without towns and cities instead of the printed land type. Ignore any escalation on it. Okay. Fortune Seekers. Grim Toll on each board. Choose a land with disease. There are none. And tell the old stories. Each spirit with at least 2 Dahan among its lands. I have none, so I don't get to reclaim, but that's fine. So I'll keep that out just for the Explorer. Alright, Ravage in Jungle. So I get 2 Blight added this turn, but I'm okay with that. One of these Dahan will die, 1 takes 1 damage, and then the remaining Dahan will fight back. Kill that Explorer in town. Alright, build in mountains. There. I'm gonna shuffle those stage 2 cards because I accidentally saw the next one. Or the one that comes up in 2 turns. That's what I get for having this busted thumb. Alright, it's going to be Wetlands for the stage 1. Alright, and, the next Explore card matches all lands without towns and cities instead of the printed land type, which is obnoxious. Especially for stage 1. And that's that. Now I go to slow powers. I saved Shatter Homesteads for a slow power, so that's going to get me 2 fear from destroying this town. So that's my first fear card, and that's that. So I can discard cards and go back to growth. So I'm going to reclaim, pretty standard lightning opening. I'm just going to gain my 3 energy right now. I gain a power card. I'll do a minor. Call to trade is quite good. Promises protection is going to be nice. I like that. I don't have any Blight to spare, but that's okay probably. Veil the Night's Hunt, pretty good. Pretty good. And Confounding Mists. So defend 4. And I think the defense will be nice. So I'm going to go with Confounding Mists. Doesn't have fire, but that's okay. Okay, I gained my energy, so let's go with I can do 2 damage with that, so let's see. Alright, so I can do up to 4 card plays, but I don't want to. I want to be able to do growth 3 this turn instead of having to reclaim again. which I think I'll be able to do just fine. If I can go 3 card plays, then with the miner that I get, I'll have 4 card plays for next turn, which I think will be better. So let's see, I can go with, let's go with Confounding Mists so I can defend F6. I'll go with Harbingers of the Lightning, so I can push the Han around. Yep. And that's free, so let's see, I want one more fire at least. I think I'd like to save Lightning's Boon. Oh, it shouldn't matter actually, so I might do my cheaper card. Or remove Blight, that might be good as well. No, because I want to save that for Gift of the Sparking Sky next turn. Yeah. So let's do Lightning's Boon. 1 energy. Okay, cool. So going into fast powers, I'm going to do Sparking, so I gain a minor power. Let's see. I've got Portents of Disaster, that's nice. Good fear. Decent elements. No fire, though. Do need more fire. I'm not going to hit Gift of the Sparking Skies first level this turn anyway. Well, potentially. No, I won't be able to get it next turn anyway. Okay. So maybe Portents of Disaster is the way to go. Yeah, let's do that. It's a good bit of fear, and it's free, which is important. Voracious Growth, also not bad, just because it can remove Blight. I've got 2 Blight in Jungle. And actually it can destroy the city, because 2 damage to that jungle with Badlands would destroy the city. Didn't think about that. So I am going to take Voracious Growth, because that'll let me kill that city next turn. And then remove the Blight later. So that's quite good. Alright, cool. So that is Sparking, or Gift of the Sparking Sky. Next I have Confounding Mists, so defend 4 up in F6. Let me just check one thing real quick. Alright, yeah, I think I'm good. So Confounding Mist, defending 4 in F6. I'm going to use Harbingers of the Lightning fast. Push this to Han in here. And this one here. Gets me 1 fear. And Lightning's Boon, so I can use slow powers fast, but I just used it for the elements. So that's that. Now I go into the event. I've got Hardworking Settlers. The latest round of Settlers is Regrettably Diligent, Focused, and Curious. I can act cautiously in the background. On each board, push up to 2 to Han, add 1 town to a land without towns, and immediately Ravage in the land with the most invaders that matches a Ravage card, which is fine, actually, so that's not too bad. Or I can create Unnerving Distractions at the cost of piquing their interest. Ravage cards skip up to 1 matching land on each board, 1 fear per player, and remove the bottommost Stage 2 and Stage 3 cards in the Invader deck from the game. I think I'm going to go with Act Cautiously in the background, actually. I usually don't, but it'll work fine. So I can push up to do to Han. Let's just push this guy over here so I can stack them up. Yeah, that's fine. And then add 1 town to a land without towns. Okay. I'll do it in there. It's got the Badlands, so it'll be easier to deal with. And then immediately Ravage in the land with the most invaders that matches a Ravage card, which is this one, which is defended 4. So, on fight back and wipe them out. This turn, beasts also count as Badlands. On each board, destroy a damaged invader in lands with beasts. That one's really hard to make use out of. So, nothing happens. Alright, Tahan threaten. Each player adds 1 strife in a land with Tahan. Well, that's the only one. It's gonna go away, so that's fine. And now I have Ravage in Mountains. This one's empty. This one's doing 0 damage. So that's that. Okay. Cool. So Ravage is done. Build in Wetlands. And then explore Jungle with the escalation. Alright, so that puts 3 invaders into F2, so that becomes a mining land, which is interesting. 2 over in F3. And then the escalation is to add 2 invaders to lands that don't match a Builder Ravage card. Let's go there, and there. Actually, I'll just split them up a little bit. Okay. Alright, so that's that. Now I get slow powers. I don't think I saved anything for slow, so yeah, I'm good. Discard cards and go back to growth. So this time I want to get a little bit of energy, so I'm going to go growth 3. Reset. Three. I'm going to add a presence. I think I want to get to 5 card plays, I think. So I'm going to go from bottom. I'll just add this here. I think that's going to be okay. I'll just do it there to be safe. Yeah, I don't have any 0 range powers, so that's okay. And then I have 5 card plays. I get 2 energy. So I'm in pretty good shape. So I'm going to play my hand, which is expensive, but it's going to get me a lot of stuff. Unfortunately, not the highest level of sparking, but that's alright. Can I even afford this? I can, just barely. Oof, I'm going to have to do a bunch of growth 3s this game, which usually you don't get to do with lightning, so that's interesting. So it'll probably be a reclaim, and then after the reclaim, another growth 3. So that's alright. So I can afford all my cards. That's good. I'm going to go into fast powers. So Sparking, I don't have Gift of the Spark in the Sky. That's alright. I have 3 air, so I can make 3 of my slow powers fast. I have a couple of them. I would like to stop that Ravage in F2, so I'm going to make Voracious Growth fast, do 2 damage here, which becomes 3 damage, thanks to the city, or thanks to the Badlands, and destroys that city. Voracious Growth. Almost a Terra level 2, and I can probably win a Terra level 2 victory in this game. So let's work towards that. So let's see, a Purifying Flame, but no towns where my invaders are going to be, except in F2. So do I want to kill that town? Maybe. Or remove the blight? Yeah, it's one or the other. They are going to Ravage in Wetlands, so I do have to be careful about that. Let's go ahead and use Shatter Homesteads fast and kill this town. That's 2 fear. And I can give myself a buffer by making Purifying Flame fast and removing a blight, so that at least the Blighted Island card doesn't happen. Well, before I do that, let me use Sparking on myself, or a Gift of the Sparking Sky. So I'm going to gain a minor power. I've got 3 free ones, so I could play one of those this turn, which I think I will. So Elemental Boon, as much as I like you, you're going to go away. I do have pretty good elements, so I don't think I need it. So I've got Roiling Bog and Snagging Thorn is my only card with fire. Fear, Isolate, Defend 2. Pretty good. Yeah, I mean, that solves that Ravage now, so let's do that. So I have the third level here of Gift of the Sparking Sky as well. So I'm going to go ahead and play Roiling Bog and Snagging Thorn. And then use that immediately here on F7, excuse me. So that's going to be 1 Fear, Isolate, and Defend 2 in that land. And I have 1 more fast power if I want it. I've used Shatter Homesteads. I've used Voracious Growth. I've used Roiling Bog, so I can use 1 of these 2 fast if I wanted to. I can stop them from building a city in F2 pretty easily with Purifying Flame. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to use Purifying Flame here in F2. It does 1 damage per blight, which is 1, but then there's a Badlands, so I can do 2. And that does push me into Terror level 2, so that's great. There's only 2 towns on the board, so it is possible that I'll win in the Fear cards. We'll see. So let's go into an event. I've got Bureaucrats Adjust Funding. On each board with 9 or more towns and cities, build cards skip. That's fine. On each board with 3 or fewer towns and cities, which this one has, build cards cause 1 extra build action in the highest numbered matching land. Okay. I wonder if that's going to cause a cascade thanks to mining. I think it will. When does it check that? Okay. That's it's unfortunate. We'll see if something saves me with a fear card. Okay. So Terrifying Beasts, 2 fear per board with 2 or more beasts. Nope, not quite. Coordinated Defense, when invaders ravage, if the land has both Dahan and Presence, defend 5. Alright, let's keep this out for Bureaucrats Adjust Funding, because that could mess me up. Alright, fear card. Theological Strife. Each player adds 1 strife in a land with Presence and gains 1 energy per sacred site they have in lands with invaders, which I do. Okay. Flee from dangerous lands. On each board, remove 1 explorer or town from a land with Badlands, Wilds, or Dahan. Alright, well, I'll stop a build there, so that's okay. Alright, now we go to the invader phase. So they will do 1 damage here, doesn't hurt anything. 1 damage here, thanks to my defend, and this is isolated as well. And then build, and they will build twice in the highest number of lands. So the first build here adds a 3rd invader, and then now that they have 3 or more invaders there, that becomes a mining land. So in mining lands, during the build step, build cards cause ravage actions instead of build actions. So this becomes a ravage rather than a second build. A little unfortunate there with that particular card. So they will blight this land with that ravage, which pushes me into a blighted island. Attenuated Essence. Each invader phase, each spirit with at least 5 presence on the board destroys 1 presence. That's not a big deal. Okay. But what that means is that all the events from now on that I get are going to be Blighted Island events. That's usually how it goes. Alright, so yeah, that's annoying. But you get to see what the level 1 effect here for Habsburg is. Salzburg, I guess. Salzburg. So when Blight added by a Ravage action would cascade, which it would, instead I upgrade 1 town or explorer before Dahan counterattacks. So let's, do I want a city or a second town there? I think it'll be easier for me to deal with a second town, I think. Yeah, so let's do a second town. Okay, so that was the build / mining ravage. Then we've got the wetlands. So they're going to explore here. So this becomes a mining land, a little dangerous as well. Oh, this one's isolated. Never mind. So they don't explore there. So that actually helps me out quite a bit. But then they do explore into 2 lands with the escalation that they don't have. So it's either sands or mountains. Okay, cool. Alright, so slow powers. I only have 1. I have Smite the Land with Fulmination. I'm going to go ahead and smite land number F5. So 1 damage here, and kill that Explorer. And add a Badlands. Alright, cool. So that's that. Let's go ahead and discard cards. And go back to growth. Alright, I'm going to reclaim, gain a power card, gain 1 energy. So I'm going to have 4 energy this turn. Probably not really a good play for a major. Although I only gain majors on the reclaim, so it might be a good chance to go ahead and grab 1. And I can get rid of Roiling Bog and Snagging Thorn probably. So yeah, let's pick up a major. I've got enough cards that I'm not stuck in a reclaim loop anymore. Okay, interesting choices. I've got Sea Monsters. Great card, probably not going to be the play because I'm not going to be able to threshold it. Although, do some work here in the slow phase. Six damage. It would wipe out a city there, so that's actually tempting. Angry Bears, nice elements. Got Sun and Fire. 2 fear, 2 damage. Can do +1 damage. Yeah, that's nice. Don't have presence in there, but I do have presence across a lot of the map, so it's not too bad. Land Thrashes in Furious Pain. I mean, it's good, but I'm not in a state where I really need it. And Instruments of Their Own Ruin. It's actually perfect elements for this sparking aspect. Strife. I think I like Instruments of Their Own Ruin here. I'm going to take that. I will just forget Roiling Bog and Snagging Thorn. And I've only got 4 energy though, so playing Instruments of Their Own Ruin this turn is a little difficult. Next turn it'll be better. And it'll deal with this land next turn, so that's fine. And potentially I can threshold it next turn, if I need to. Okay, so 4 energy, I've got 5 card plays. Well, let's see what I can do. Unfortunately, I don't have good fire cards to really to hit the threshold on Gift of the Sparking Sky, which is what I really want, so I can wipe this out with just 1 card play instead of 2. So maybe instead of forgetting Roiling Bog and Snagging Thorn, I forget Confounding Mists. Keep this one because it's got fire and it's free. So I'll play that. Purifying Flame. Can I do all my fire cards? I think I can afford that. I can't. I'm 1 off. I can do Lightning's Boon instead. So yeah, Harbingers, Lightning's Boon. And either Shatter Homesteads or Smite the Land with Fulmination. let's go with... I do need another sun, actually, so I'm going to smite the land with Fulmination. And this should give me the elements I need to hit my full innate power, which is really cool. So let's see how that goes. So going into fast powers now, I've got Roiling Bog and Snagging Thorn. I can do one Fear somewhere and isolate a land. That's going to Ravage. Yeah, I'll wait and see what I want to do after that. So instead, let's do Harbingers first. So Harbingers of Lightning, I'm going to use that fast. Yeah, because 2 of these are fast, so yeah, that's fine. I'll be able to play all of my powers fast if I want to. So Harbingers, pushing in there, generating 1 Fear. I'm going to... do Gift of the Sparkling Sky, so my innate power. So once this turn, after target spirit uses a power that targets a land, I may do 1 damage to each invader in that land. I also gain a minor power. Let's see, Hazard Spread is pretty nice. Don't need Reaching Grasp. Quicken, Song of Sanctity. Yeah, let's go with the Hazard Spread across the island. Alright, I may play a power card by paying its cost. I'm not going to do that this turn, though, because I have no energy. Could do Hazard Spread, but I don't really need it this turn. Then I will go ahead and use Purifying Flame in F5. So I do 2 damage, plus 1, so that's 3 damage. And then because I had the Gift of the Sparkling Sky, I'm also going to do 1 damage to that town and destroy it. So that's pretty good. So that's Purifying Flame, Harbingers of Lightning. I can play Smite the Land with Fulmination fast if I want to. I'm not sure that I need to. I can save it for the slow phase, but let's go ahead and use it fast. I'm going to use it in F7. So I can do 1 damage and add a Badlands there. And then Roiling Bog and Snagging Thorn I may as well just use on F7 just in case they attack or something. So this is defended 2, 1 Fear, and it's isolated. Okay, so that's all my powers. Let's go to the invader phase. We got an event. New species spread. So new plants and animals brought by the invaders damage the local ecology. You may let the invasive species bloom. For each board, discard the top minor power. If it's fast, add a blight to a land with towns and cities. I don't love that, but it's fine. And then after resolving, you return it to the event deck under the top 2. Or I can transmute the worst of the species. 1 Fear per player on each board, add 1 Beast to a land with towns and cities. I'm just going to do that. I'll forget Roiling Bog and Snagging Thorn, because I don't really need it anymore. So that pays for it outright. I get 1 Fear, and I get to add a Beast. I'll throw that into here. New diseases on the half the boards, rounding up, which is 1. Add 1 disease to a land with both Tahan and invaders. Do 2 damage to Tahan there. There. Alright, and then Offerings of Pattern Dance. Each spirit with at least 2 Tahan among its lands, which I do have, gains 1 energy. Awesome. Alright, one quick check here. Nice. Alright, cool. So that's done. 1 Fear card, Terror level 2. I've got Angry Mobs in each land with 2 or more Explorers. Destroy 1 Explorer or Town per 2. Okay. I want to remove these doubled up Explorers, which is nice. Alright, Ravage in jungle. My jungles are empty. Build in wetlands. I don't have any mining lands, so they are going to be straight builds. And then explore mountains. And then the escalation here is their mining tunnels. And that's fine. I can throw some guys into these lands. And I think I should win on the fast phase next turn, so I've got that pretty well set up. So I don't have any slow powers. I use them all fast. So let's discard cards and go back to growth. I'm going to go growth 3, so I can gain 3 energy, plus 2 more for presence. I'll add a presence from, I guess from top. I'll start working towards more energy per turn. I don't really need more than 5 card plays. Here. And let's go with Instruments of Their Own Ruin. Hazard Spread. And Shatter Homesteads. I'm not going to use Voracious Growth. I don't think. I don't really need to. So that's that. Although, yeah, I might not take out this town actually. Yeah, so I might not have this just yet, but I'll have it pretty soon. Okay, so going into fast powers here, I'm going to use Sparking on myself, so I've got not the first level, but I do gain a minor power, and lots of minor power gaining this turn. And I can potentially play a free card this turn. So that's just going to be Twilight Fog Brings Madness. May as well. I'll play it. And because I do have the second level here, or third level. Alright, other fast cards that I have, I'm going to use Instruments of Their Own Ruin onto F7. So I'm going to add a Strife under this town, and then each invader with Strife deals damage to other invaders in the land, so the town will do 2 damage to the city, which becomes 3 thanks to the Badlands. Alright. I'm going to use Shatter Homesteads fast to destroy this town. It's 2 fear. And I'm 3 fear away from winning Terror level 3, so should be pretty close with that. Let's use Hazard Spread across the island. I'll just throw Badlands up in F8. And I can use Twilight Fog Brings Madness fast. So just in case they get something that adds extra damage, I'll throw that into here. Alright, now I go to an event. I've got Smaller Ports spring up on each board with exactly 1 coastal city. Doesn't apply. Stricken in lands with explorers or with DZs or Strife. Explorers, invaders skip Ravage action, so I won't get my counterattack here, unfortunately. And Settlers encroach too far. On each board choose a land with towns and Han. Push 1 town per 2 to Han there. Alright. Well, that's fine. I added the Badlands into F8, so hopefully I'll be able to do my damage there next turn. Fear card, Terror level 2. Each player removes 1 explorer or town from an inland land. Yeah, so I would have won if they had not skipped the Ravage actions or removed that town. That's what happens. Alright, so we Ravage in wetlands. Build in mountains. That becomes a mining land. And then explore coastal. That's fine. Alright, so it's mostly cleanup at this point. There's only 2 towns on the board, and I'm lightning, so I'm pretty good at destroying towns. So slow powers, I had none. I'm going to discard cards, go back to growth. I'm going to reclaim. gain a power card, I'll just gain a miner. Gift of Living Energy is nice, so I'll just grab that. Shouldn't matter, but gotta play it out, make it all official like. I get 1 energy plus 2. And I just need to kill 2 towns, so let's go with Smite the Land with Fulmination. Oh, I can't do Smite the Land with Fulmination and Shatter Homesteads. Oh, that's unfortunate. But I can do Hazard Spread. Let's get another Badlands in there. And then do Purifying Flame. I think that'll be fine. Okay, so that's that. Okay, fast powers here. I'm going to use, I'm not going to worry about drawing new cards because it's the end of the game. So let's use Hazard Spread across the island. I'm going to duplicate a Badlands into F4, then use Purifying Flame here, so 1 damage plus 1. And then use Smite the Land with Fulmination up here, which is 1 damage plus 1. Add a Badlands. And currently, I'm in Terror level 2. There are no towns or cities on the board, which means that I win. So that is a Terror 2 victory with Sparking Lightning against Salzburg Level 1. So I think this was a better gameplay than my previous one. You got to see the effects of the level 1 for Habsburg, or for Salzburg, happening in here, thanks to that Bureaucrat Suggest Funding card. So that's where they upgrade their pieces. I feel like once I get into higher difficulties, that's going to become more and more common, so we'll see how that goes. You also got to see Sparking at its full level, which is very cool. I do like this aspect for this spirit. It mixes it up a little bit. You can still start the same way, but then break out of the reclaim loop a little bit earlier than you normally would be able to with Lightning, thanks to the extra card plays that you get. And I think the fact that you can give other people minor powers makes this a little bit nicer for support as well. Wind Lightning is a fantastic support spirit, but you sacrifice a lot of your destructive power. This one, you keep some of the destructive power, but you also have pretty good support by being able to give minor powers. So I do like this aspect for it. I'm excited to play it in some team games and some two-handed games and see how it does. And yeah, got lots of Badlands on the board, which is always fun. Hopefully you enjoyed this first of 6 parts for Salzburg. I'll be moving on to level 2 next with another spirit plus its aspect. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.